All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We are live on the interwebs. I didn't forget this time, so look at me.
Hey, improvement.
Yes,
growth.
we're getting there. We're
growth
getting there.
in 2025.
Like I said, the on-air talent doesn't typically do the tech part of it, but we're getting there.
They didn't map us for that, so we're trying.
All right, everybody, as always, take 30 seconds, find somebody next to you, and tell them something you're grateful for.
I like the weather's been pretty good.
Oh, yesterday was awesome.
It was, Sunday was awesome too. It was like nice. So,
what happened here?
I know.
But now today's like in the 50s, I guess. But still better than like
20s.
Yeah.
I'm going to Scottsdale, Arizona this weekend for a bachelor party. I have such a busy calendar until like April. Unintentionally, but it's like every other week.
How hot is it in Scottsdale right now?
Probably like 75, right?
Oh, that's not bad. I mean, I guess usually it's like
90. Yeah, well, I think it's 75. I need to look it up. I'm going to do that while you're going through the first slide.
All right. Would anybody like to share something they're grateful for this morning? Jan?
I said I was very entrepreneurial, creative people out there.
There you go.
Like, you take it.
Yeah, killing it. I love it. Well, it is February, so I just wanted to take a moment and recognize that it is Black History Month this year. Nothing has changed, at least. So definitely would like to recognize and appreciate that. And with that, how that relates back to real estate is obviously the Civil Rights Act of 1968. So here's a little graph of kind of like when this happened. It started with race, and then as you fast forward down from 1866 to 1990, we've added a lot of different categories for protected classes. But just as a little history lesson for today, on April 11th, 1968, President Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1968, which was meant as a follow-up to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The 1968 Act expanded on previous acts and prohibited discrimination concerning the sale, rental, and financing of households based on race, religion, national origin, sex, and, as amended later, handicap and familial status. Title 8 of the Act is known as the Fair Housing Act. The enactment of the Federal Fair Housing Act on April 11th came only after a long and difficult journey. From 1966 to 1967, Congress regularly considered the Fair Housing Bill, but failed to garner a strong enough majority for its passage. However, when the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on April 4th, President Lyndon Johnson used this national tragedy to urge for the bill's speedy congressional approval. Since 1966, open housing marches in Chicago in Dr. King's name had been closely associated with the fair housing legislation. President Johnson viewed the act as a fitting memorial to the man's life work, and wished to have the act passed prior to his funeral in Atlanta. So a lot of us, especially even me as a gay white man, I stand on the shoulders of these people that marched for equal rights back then, and it only helps us today as we progress further with housing is for everybody, not just a few, and we need to make sure we keep that momentum going for everybody. So just wanted to take a moment and recognize that.
I had to look it up. I was like, is that wrong?
Right.
So dang.
Which I don't think much happened then. It seems like 1968 was really when they started listening.
I was going to say in the middle of the Civil War.
But yeah, so just take a moment, recognize that. February is full of different trainings. So we have, this also comes out in the Facebook groups, and they'll post these classes on the Monday morning update. So we have mentor class is back on Thursdays from 10 to 1 in Brentwood. We have Parks U March 3rd through the 6th, which is for new agents, but a lot of agents take it kind of as a refresher. So if you're wanting kind of a light ninja, it's a great way to kind of go through that program, get a little bit of insight and maybe some motivation to work your business different this year.
And with all of these trainings too, if you're struggling with any part, they're really trying to hit all of the high points. So whether it's Business Tracker, whether it's the CRMs, whether it's any of the workspaces, these are super in-depth and kind of pointed at those things that you might be struggling with. But I know we've been going through it in a couple of transactions now. It's once you get the hang of it, it's pretty sweet. It works really well.
It's really nice. I know it's scary to learn something new, but
It took.
We'll
I
get
just
there.
warned my clients. I was like, I'm transitioning to a new platform, and they told if you just give people a heads up, they don't care.
just say, hey, like, you want to be my test client on
Yeah.
this? They love it. Parks University, here's the breakdown. We have March, May, July, September, November, and then the days. Day 4, if you're kind of wanting just something on the Compass platform,
Yeah.
they've redone that day to just really focus on that. We removed Real Tracks. Oh no, we moved Real Tracks to day 3. So if you want at least something like that, it's a nice little refresher. And then of course our friends at Steadfast will be there as well. And then Ninja, we're still doing it. So April 14th to the 17th. In Brentwood, probably.
Probably at our, yeah.
So yeah, if you have not taken Ninja, it is kind of, I would say, the religion of our company, so to speak. A little hocus pocus, but I love it.
How many times do you take it?
Twice.
I'm taking it 3 times.
Yeah.
So it's a worthwhile investment. I don't know if we're still doing that gift that
You used to be able to put like 150 down and then take the next out of your next 2 closings.
Yeah.
We'll find out about
Yeah, we're not
that.
Yeah.
So it's the cost.
900.
It's 900, 950 now.
And then if you're redoing it,
So you can audit it, but you don't get any of the class materials. I'll find out about that price. I want to say it was like $150 cheaper. or
Yeah,
$200
700. Yeah, I was gonna
cheaper.
say something like that.
What do you mean?
you say they don't give you the materials.
They don't give you like the workbook and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
You
the
save a
details,
little
'cause I
bit,
can't
but-
remember. It wasn't worth when we were looking at it just to pay and do the whole thing. 'cause you got all these stuff.
Now, sorry, like an abbreviated version for people.
I saw that.
I'm not sure.
It was like a 2-day class or something. I saw something on that. I don't.
I'll find out some more details and make sure for sure. All right, so
Yes.
y'all probably got this email from Real Scout. So if you want to continue using them, it's $79 a month. I don't know for how long. They made sure that they put in italics a discount for a limited time. I believe this is just $99 a month, so it's not going to be like 200 from 79. But if you do
Yeah.
want to continue, it's easy to put your card in.
It's just a great excuse for you to reach out to every single client you have on an auto email and say, hey, I'm transitioning to a new platform. It's a great touch point. Are you still interested? I have so many people that are just looking at houses all the time and then they haven't done anything. So I'm like, take you know, whatever. You can. It's just a reason to touch base.
Definitely. Okay, so remember we talked about the FCC, the new rules that were going into effect. Just kidding. Those are now slated to go into effect in 2026. So just forget everything that we talked about last week. Just keep calling people, just not on the do not call list, please. And a lot of y'all are reaching out about your 1099s. And so the Parks 1099s were mailed to you. You should have received them by now. If you have not, just email us. We'll make sure you get that. The Compass 1099s, everybody thought they were spam.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate the hundreds of emails confirming.
Yes. We'd rather have you do that than the
Please
opposite.
do that instead of just clicking anything. So, going forward, you can actually find them in the platform. You just click on More, then Tax Documents. Mine's not in there because I didn't have a closing with Compass last year, but it would say 1099 at the top right there. This came out yesterday. It was really kind of crazy when you think it. Compass is not as old as any of these companies, and now we are. What does it say? 3.9 billion, which is more than all of the other companies combined. So, like, what does that mean to us everyday folks who don't understand that? It says Compass now has more market cap. Greater than all other major public real estate companies combined. The milestone is significant because it shows that investors are saying they believe Compass is going to be the winner in this space, which is why they are rewarding it with a higher valuation than others. So they're betting on Compass, which is awesome for us because now we have Compass.
Yeah, that's right.
Signs, I know that we ordered them last June. I know we did. They may be here by June. I don't really know. We're supposed to get a shipment this week. I don't know who's on the shipment. It will be like Christmas. It'll be a surprise. Business cards are also trickling in, so we'll email you and let you know your signs have arrived.
As soon as you know, as soon as we know, we'll let
You
you
will
know
know.
because we also want our sign.
I would love my signs too.
Great.
You,
Like to ask, like, who's in the next batch?
There's so many. We're on emails and behind the scenes too. There's
I've
some
tried, yeah.
discrepant.
I've tried. It's just we have a shipment coming in the first week of February. So
Yes.
you can still use your park signs. I know that's weird. but you won't get in trouble with Trek. If you just want to use Compass signs, you can order them through the platform, which I know is not what you want to do because you're about to get free ones. But hey, at least you'll have more signs for the listings you're going to have later this year. So, but they are coming, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Also, something we're going to take back from last meeting. Initially, we were told that the affiliated business arrangement disclosure was not required unless you are using Origin Point, and it looks like now Proper Rate is another preferred lender. It is required even if you are not using those, just like it was at Parks and Village back in the day. So just unlearn that. You don't have to have it for your sellers because they're not going to get a loan.
Yeah.
This would just be for buyers. So it still says required in the platform, so you shouldn't miss it, but I just wanted to clarify that from the last meeting. Also, something that looks kind of weird, but it's actually right. We sent this to the Forms Committee just to make sure. Under licensee acknowledgement, again, this is a lead-based paint disclosure form that had a pretty significant update from last year. At the bottom, it says the buyer's agent has informed the seller of the seller's obligations. That will only happen if the seller is unrepresented. You will usually, almost always, you'll see that the seller's agent has informed the seller. But if there is no seller's agent, then it's your duty as the licensee to inform them what their duty is for lead-based paint for the buyers and what have you. So this was a little bit confusing last time, but it's not a typo. That's what the law says. So just keep that in mind. But for listing agents, just make sure we have a couple new boxes to check this time. All right, kind of late breaking news here. Kevin Wilson's office over at Broadwest is doing a presentation. They're not doing the presentation. They're going to a presentation at the 505 building for Paramount, which is Tony G's biggest tower that he's building in Nashville. You can go. It's at 11 o'clock. You just need to email Sabrina.canup, just like it sounds, at compass.com. And get on the list, but it will be directly after this at 11.
And do it right now if you want to go to
If you want to go, do it right now.
Yes,
Just wanted
so
to invite everybody. We got word this morning.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Without further ado, another entrepreneur that we have here is Chris Escada. I'm going to give you my chair. You can tell us all about it.
Chris, isn't it appropriate that I'm also going to sit up here for this meeting?
Oh,
Yeah.
true testimonial.
That's right.
Yes.
Got
A review.
got a real life Pullman resident here.
That's right.
We planned it that way. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's good to see some familiar faces. We're here preaching the word of Pullman. I'm sure you've received hundreds of emails from us over the last year regarding sales and all kinds of things. And we have some new exciting information for you, unless, of course, you've already received probably 36 emails on this. We have been working with a new preferred lender, PNC Bank. For some of you who don't know, and if you're not familiar with the Pullman Project, we're a 300-unit condo development located on the corner of 12th and Demumbrian. Our developer is Endeavor Real Estate based out of Austin, Texas. We started closings last year. We have about 45% of the building sold out, and we're looking to sell out the rest. So to help us do that, we've worked with a new lender who has been able to provide some interesting financing options for buyers. As we all know, everyone is really kind of up in arms. Buyers are on the sidelines. Rates are high. It's more expensive to buy than ever before. So we originally, the building was what's called non-warrantable. So a lot of the loan products that worked for us were portfolio loan only. Oftentimes those came with higher rates, higher down payment requirements, et cetera, et cetera. We've worked with PNC Bank for quite a few months and come to a product that basically is exactly like conventional financing. It is conventional financing, 30-year fixed, with the best rates. They have a product that's called delayed delivery. I don't ask questions. It works. People have done it. So I'll kind of leave it at that. But in addition to that, brand new for this year, we have the developer contributing towards a permanent rate buy down with PNC Bank for those who qualify. So we're doing, it's about a 1% off your mortgage rate for the full 30-year fix on a conventional product. So right now that gets you to about 5.875% for those who qualify. And that can be, I think they're doing as little as maybe 5% or 10% down. And so hopefully, if anyone has buyers out there who've been sort of scared away by higher rates, that are wanting a more affordable product, they can't really afford that $650,000, $750,000 house anymore. They want to live in an amazing location with great amenities. Bring them in. We're happy to provide all the information and get them with PNC Bank to see if they qualify, and if so, we can lock them in for 30 years on a conventional product at 5.875% interest rate. Obviously, if rates come down even further, hopefully, God willing, then we can get them even lower than that. We'd love to see that in the low fives by mid to late this year. So we also tempted you all with Parlor Donuts downstairs. There's materials down there. My business card is down there. If you have any questions, I'll be hanging out here as well, trying to catch up with some of y'all. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Also, if you haven't been over to the building and you want to just come check it out, please do. Again, you can grab my card. You can come find me. We'd love to schedule a tour for you and kind of show you what we've got going on over there and bring us some buyers. And we have one right here. So if you need
right.
any inside scoop as to what's going on over there or how Zach has liked it,
Yeah, it's been great.
he'll say
Great.
nothing but great things about it.
That's right. Catch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Should be able to click on the arrow.
Arrow.
There you go.
Oh, here we go. Sorry. So here's our rib down, and we've got some other stuff. Let's see, price points. I think our most affordable unit currently is right in the mid 400s. So
Studio.
one bedroom in the mid 400s. Our most expensive unit's like a 3-bed in the like 3 million range. But our one bedrooms run from about 450,000 to about 750,000. We have those on floors 6 through 28. 28 is our penthouse level. We do have some one-bedroom penthouses, which is pretty unique for a high-rise building. Our 2 bedrooms sort of start in the 900s for what we have left currently. We do have a 1-bedroom with a bonus room that starts in the 600s. And then our 3 bedrooms start in the 2 millions.
Yeah.
Some of our amenities we've got amenities on our 6th floor and up on the roof. We've got our swimming pool up on the roof. The views from up there are absolutely incredible. We've got a fire pit up there, outdoor LED television for all of your football watching needs.
Yeah.
Watching the Titans
I love
lose.
the pool table. I don't know if there's a picture of the clubhouse, but the
Yeah,
pool
I don't know
table
if we
is-
have that, but yeah, we've got pool table up top there. There's a co-working space. There's a library, game room. We've got a 2,200 square foot state-of-the-art fitness center. Everything's brand new. The building just first residents moved in July of last year. It's pretty incredible. So again, if you haven't been over there and you would like to come take a look, please reach out to us. We'd love to get you in there with or without buyers, just so that you have the information needed. So when you do find that buyer, you know where to bring them. 8.
What about?
It's about 60.
Rentals. So we had 60 available rental
Wait.
opportunities in the building. So in order to rent in the building, you have to have a lease permit. We had 60 lease permits available for sale. We've sold 59 of 60. So I have 1 lease permit remaining. It's been hanging on for like 3 months, 4 months. It's kind of crazy. I don't know how much longer it's going to be there, but it's 1.5% of the purchase price is the cost of the lease permit. You own that for as long as you rent it out. You have 6 months to find a tenant to rent it to without being in danger of losing the lease permit, and you cannot rent it for less than 6 months. So no short-term renting allowed, and it's a one-time fee. So keep it rented for 10 years. You pay that 1.5% and that one time, and you're good to go. Yeah.
And permit.
Yes.
Is there a, we got many talks about this.
Uh-huh.
Right now,
Yeah.
is that's 6 months.
You mean like because some of them have been on the market for a little bit? Yeah, like it's not like at 6 months, boom, you get the axe, you lose your lease permit. The idea is that the idea is that we want the people who have lease permits to be using them, not just keeping them, not renting them, and kind of holding on to them, because we want there to be actual rentals, happening. So we haven't had anyone that I know of lose a lease permit yet. We do have, obviously the building just closed, so we have quite a few rentals up on the market that we're sort of working through. But we don't really foresee, as long as they're trying to rent it, we have, like I said, we haven't had anyone lose a lease permit yet. But
And
we're
isn't in theory there'll be a list, and so why I think somebody would lose one is that there are none available, and so I think having one of it, like I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah, so as of right now, we still have some available for sale. So it doesn't really do us any benefit to have someone lose it. Also, the building is going to have 30 additional lease permits available once the building is turned over from the developer to the HOA, to the people. That doesn't happen until we're 75% sold out. We're at roughly 45%. So those 30 lease permits are sort of just being held. And so anyone who's on a wait list now for a lease permit is actually waiting for that sort of timeline to begin, and then they'll have those lease permits. So as long as someone's if their unit is not on the market, they have a lease permit and it's past 6 months and they've just been holding it, for sure they're in danger of losing it. If it's active on the market and they're doing the things necessary to get it rented and just not being able to rent it in that time frame, I'm sure we can, work something with them so that they know that, they're not going to lose it. But once we sell out of them, yes, then that might change, and we might be pushing people a little harder to do what's necessary to get them rented quicker.
Is there wrong with seeing my contact there and permission seeing that kind of something like that? It's kind of like the rest of the original.
We all do.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all are intimately involved with the project on every level.
Yeah.
At every level, so we can answer any questions you have. We can answer for you.
And the permit stays with the unit if you sell it?
If you sell it with a lease in place that has 3 months remaining or longer, the permit will transfer to a new owner. If you sell the unit vacant, the permit will not transfer to a new owner. Yep.
You said you sell it. Say that again?
So if you sell your unit with a tenant in place and there's 3 months or longer left on the lease at sale, the permit will transfer to a new owner. If you sell it vacant with a lease permit, the lease permit will go back into the HOA. It will not transfer to the owner. So if the new owner would like to continue it as a rental, you would need to sell the unit with a tenant in place with a lease for longer than 3 months, or else the lease permit would go back into the HOA.
Sounds like a perfect Compass private exclusive scenario where you
Yes.
kind of keep it off the main market. 3-phase marketing.
Exactly. Any other questions? Amazing. Thank you for having us. Make sure you get some donuts downstairs.
Thank you.
Any questions in your chat?
You're doing
All
good.
right.
Bonnie?
Come on down.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So I'm also a preferred lender at Pullman, and I do not offer that rate. But y'all, actually, what PNC is offering is amazing. And once it's warrantable, then we can be very competitive. So go out there and get your buyers to buy as many as they can using that program with PNC so that I can get in there and get really, we can be more competitive too. Until then, the buyers who do not qualify for that PNC program,
There you go.
over here, I can help them. I've really actually helped a lot of people like doing some DSCR loans in there. So we've gotten some pretty creative programs to get those buyers in there too. So yeah, we are a resource as well.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, what am I going to talk about? Oh,
Just
right.
Get the arrow on the keyboard.
Which one? Anyone?
Right, to the right.
There we go. Okay, here are our rates.
Get a green
little
arrow.
Better. Come on, not as bad. We're not in the sevens.
Yeah. It's all,
This is what I'm grateful for today.
Yeah.
All right, so, it's not as bad. It's getting a little better. All right, this is what I want to talk about today. It's just the impact of these rates and what they have on the buyer's behaviors, right? So just kind of how people react to these rates, like what you were just talking about, how it kind of slows people down, right? The rates. I'm sure you all have those buyers that are saying, what are they going to do? They're going to wait till the rates go down before they really go out there to start looking for the house that they want to buy. And historically, when the rates decrease, then people are going to go out there and start looking. And when that happens, as people start flooding the markets when the rates go down, prices go up, right? So rates have that influence on the payments, and when that payments go up, it's obviously affects their affordability, and it's it makes it a little bit harder for them to buy more home. So there is that impact as well. But when they're obviously a little bit more leery to purchase when the rates are higher, but there's also, when we're looking at that, buyers, we can talk to the buyers about that, this other thought process of purchasing now when the rates are a little bit higher versus waiting, and how that impacts their budget. So by buying now with a little bit higher rate, what does that really do to their payment versus waiting and buying with a little bit higher payment? A higher purchase price, but a lower rate. Sometimes it really doesn't make that much of a difference in their payment. So in this example, we're looking at a purchase price of $400,000 with 20% down. We may have where a seller, now with in a little bit more competitive market, you might be able to have the seller paying more towards closing costs or a rate buy down. Maybe having that seller help buy the rate down to 6.5% puts that payment in this example about $2,300 on a $400,000 purchase versus waiting, when the rates go down to maybe 5.5%, purchase price at $450. This payment's the same, so they're paying more, but the payment ends up being around the same price. We were on a call last week with a lot of, group of different mortgage professionals, and there was some discussion about this. And they were saying that when rates go down 1%, it actually introduces about 5 million more buyers into the market. So a 1% reduction in rate, equals about 5 million more buyers. So 5 million more buyers that's flooded into the market, what's that going to do to the impact of the prices? Now you're looking at, more competition. Now you're maybe looking at, where you've got multiple offers. Maybe the sellers now aren't going to be paying for those buy downs or any closing costs. So there's way more competition. Prices are going to be going up. So it may be better for them to buy now at a little bit higher rate, and rather than waiting and driving those prices up. Now, instead, the other thought too, it's like if they're buying now at a $400,000 purchase price, instead of waiting and having that same payment at a higher price, you buy now and then refinancing at that lower price, then they're going to save that money, at a later time. So at a refinance later, they might save $150, lowering their payment to about $2,100. $2,150 or something like that. So it just makes more sense, to take this approach and rather than having that higher price later. So it's like retaining the equity, instead of having the same rate or payment later.
Yeah, and I'm curious too. Have you all been, anybody with buyers right now really getting to basically negotiate for whatever you want to? I mean, if it's been on the market for 30, 60, 90 days, you really have a lot of flexibility. And people are trying to get the house sold. You don't have those. I think it's almost kind of swung back the pendulum where the buyers are going and being like, it's listed at 780. Can we get it for 650? Like, it's kind of getting to the point where they all think that every low ball is going to be the best thing that the seller's ever seen. So, but yeah, you kind of go back and forth. The competition was so bad back in the day that you're kind of, when you have a client now goes and sees some houses, makes an offer, it feels a lot better because you have that ability to get a win for your
Yeah,
client.
I
So
think you definitely have a little bit more you can get now for it, there's a little more competition for the buyer. Whereas I think again, who knows when rates are going to drop? You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to say, but if you're waiting for that time, and you're up against 5 million other people that are waiting for that time.
Yep.
When that flood happens, then I think that again, it's just. I think there's a better strategy for buying now and refinancing later when the rates go down and lowering your payment then. And again, then you're also retaining more of that equity at that time.
We still see a lot of like 3-2-1, 2-1 buy down.
Yeah, we are. So we still, again, that's again another strategy because I think you've got a seller who's willing to do that. You've got a seller who's willing to possibly either negotiate on the price or pay some of your closing costs or do a temporary buy down, which is more of a benefit to your buyer now, and then waiting for a rate to go down and then be up against a higher price that they're paying. And again, looking at really basically the same payment with a lower rate. So
I typically tell clients too that because they come up to you and they ask that question, right? Like, well, the interest rates are so high. And I said, listen, you're either going to get the purchase price and competition are going to be a problem, or interest rates are going to be a problem. Like, pick your poison. It's not easy to buy a house. So, like, you're going to have some pain points on either side. And right now, less competition means that we can potentially even negotiate for more than, especially given the market that we're in Nashville, where appreciation's been above national average. I'd rather have a lower purchase price. So,
absolutely. So anyway, hope that helps.
amazing. Thank you.
Connie? Any questions? All right, Marley, if you want to come on up over here. Couple things. So yesterday, did anybody catch the One Compass webinar? Tyler Graham in the back, all-star. It was pretty cool. I wanted to bring up, if you're talking to your client and you're like, hey, we have this new program, and you're like spilling all this like technology all over them and they have no idea what you're talking about, you can go to one.compass.com. And that will give you a little preview of what it would look like to your client. And so this is what the buy side looks like. So you have a little timeline, comments that you can make. I love this. If anybody used Folio and Gmail, it's very similar to have those tasks there. You can have your contacts. If you did comps, which hopefully you are doing comps for your buyers before they're putting in offers, you can save that to their portal so they have that information saved handy. And then just other documents, inspection reports, kind of all the things they would ever need. And the good thing is it's not a new website, it's not a new application, it's just the Compass app that they're used to using, the website they're used to. It's a little bit of a refresh. Same with sellers. This is what it will look like. More timelines for them probably than anything. Comps, comments, that kind of stuff. So really cool tool that no other company has in a way that it just links to everything that you're doing. Yes, ma'am.
Create that on that site as well, or still on your?
It'll be on your, but if you're meeting with a client, like a buyer consultation or a listing presentation, and you want to pitch this as a tool that we have exclusively, you just go to one.compass.com, and it allows you to kind of show them what their portal will look like once they log in. On the call yesterday, one of the agents made a good point that they immediately start with this. I'm going to send you an invitation to your portal. That's where we communicate. That's where your documents are signed. That's where we do everything. So if you ever have a question or you need something, that's where you'll go. So like from the jump, it's not like something you do later. It's like when you meet with them, you go ahead and establish that's kind of the main hub for everything.
How do you set, that's one question, how do you set that up for?
In your Compass platform.
In mind?
Yes. And then you can,
Where do you start?
y'all gonna have to go to a training for that. I don't know.
You don't have to go into it. What they did not do for us on the call is tell us where to start.
Marley.
I started, and I can figure it
And
out.
this, yeah,
Yeah.
please. I'm still a little lost.
Do you want me to log into mine? Or can you do it from here?
Sorry, impromptu. But
This is Tyler Graham, everybody.
Hey. So I know a lot of you here. For those that don't know me, I'm Tyler Graham. I'm the broker for Compass in the Green Hills office, right down the street above Char. but I used to be here when it was Village back in the day,
Back in the day.
the East office. So I'm glad we're one big happy family. But once again, but yeah, this is awesome. So this is Compass One has been. Robert Refkin mentioned this like years and years ago at the Austin retreat about having a client dashboard where your clients can see everything that's going on in the transaction in real time. And so we've been waiting on this for years and years. So this is super exciting, but like Lee said, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Folio. You know, that's like a paid service you can use. I think there might be a free option. This basically replaces that for free with like the timelines. But on top of that, you've got all the collections in here. And all this is customizable too. So you can put anything, all the timelines you can go in there. You can put, for example, like for your sellers, like with listing, you can say pictures this day. If you're going to do measurements, you can say measurements this day. Like you can totally customize it per seller, per transaction. And the way that you do that is through your task list on the back end. So if you're familiar with like tasks within the Compass platform, if you just add that into the task under that business tracker file, that folder, it automatically adds it to your client dashboard. And when you make changes, so you don't have to go up, set anything up. When you create a business tracker file, like you already do to submit documents, it's already there for your client. So the minute you send them a collection, if you put them on a collection and they get invited to that collection, when they log in, they're going to see this now. Instead of just the collection, they're going to see the collection plus all the extra stuff.
You have an existing collection,
It already works.
they're seeing this new to you.
It currently works. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the
So they just log in. So like when you send them a collection, they have to create a Compass login. So the ones that already have a collection now, they have this currently. So whatever you have, if you have in your business tracker file for that client, if you have a checklist already in there, it's going to be showing up on their dashboard. Now the cool thing is you can actually see what they see. So if you're logged in, this is on the website, but if you're logged into your file for that client, there's a button at the top right that says Client View, and you can go in and you can see what your client sees. It also, and I don't know if Marley, you were going to go over this, but it's really easy to turn off and on different things on the client dashboard. So let's say you don't want a client to see
Your tasks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, like for whatever reason, they'll never. I don't think they'll ever see your personal task unless you put it on the in the timeline. But like, let's say you just didn't want them to see the timeline, you can just turn that off. There's like an easy button next to it, and it's it just is like it's got an eye with the circle through it or with the line through it, or you just toggle that on and off, and that toggles it on and off on the client dashboard. So it's really easy. It's really user friendly. Go in there, mess around with it. You really can't mess it up. Just like with most things on Compass, like if you do mess something up, it's easily fixable. You know,
Like you said, put yourself
you could, yeah, you could. But if you have clients now in there, you can go in there and you can see what they see just by looking at their client view from their file. So all this is currently live for all of your clients. So speaking of like good touch points, this is live now. Great way to reach out to your client if they're already in a collection and say, hey, by the way, next time you log into your Compass, you're going to see a whole different view. If you have a client under contract, it might be a good idea to go in and update your timelines now and say, hey, by the way, you don't have to go back and reference that email I sent weeks ago to see what's next in the process. All you do is log into your Compass dashboard and you can see what's next. And I think that's also going to help everybody, especially the timeline part of it, is like the emails. Like we all have these email templates that we've been using for years, and we just copy and paste and fill in the blanks. We don't have to do that anymore. Like your clients don't have to save that email and go back and try to figure out or write down what it is. Like it's all right here. And you update this in real time. So it's super easy.
business tracker tags.
Just Business Tracker. So when you log into Business Tracker and you go to that client's file in Business Tracker, you'll see basically all the things you need to see. Yeah. So Marley, I don't want to steal your thunder. I don't know what we're
I
gonna.
was going to do something separate, but
Okay.
I did want to mention, and sorry, Lee, if you said this already, Compass Academy also has a great section on Compass One client dashboard. So there's a bunch of videos on there that basically goes over everything that went over yesterday in the demo, as well as what Tyler just went over. So, and that's just academy.compass.com. And then one client dashboard is the section.
The other great thing about this is your clients will forever and always have access to this. So all their documents, their sales contract, their closing docs, everything, they will always have access to this. So it's a place that they can go a year from now, 2 years from now. If they become a repeat client, they still have their dashboard. They can reference all those things right there instead of having, again, to go back, save it on their computer, save it in an email, whatever. It's all right here. And it's always tied to you as their agent. So when you're their agent, it's going to have your contact info. So when they log into Compass to go look at what their closing documents were for tax purposes a year from now, they're going to see your name in their Compass dashboard.
Once a year.
Well, yeah, you don't have to, but it's a good, you could send them an email, hey, as a reminder, log in, you can get your Alta statement there for taxes. Like, it's a great touch point, but again, you don't have to go back and, like if you have a closing now, next year you don't have to go back and like search for all the Altas in your email or wherever you file those away, or even in Business Tracker. So right here, they're going to have access to it at any point in time they want.
I like the security thing too that they were talking about, where it's actually probably more secure to go through this than to be emailing these documents back and forth on Gmail or whatever.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of security invested in keeping everything safe, so that seems like a big selling point also.
Yeah, so Compass takes security and data very seriously. They've hired 2 full-time folks, like head of security, data security, and some other, I don't know all the technical titles, but they have staff that are solely focused on just keeping your client and your information safe and secure in the dashboard and in Compass in general. So you're to that point, yes, it's probably a lot safer than sending documents through email.
We also got an email yesterday from Robert Redkin that outlines all the instructions. I just flagged it for myself. Just all the instructions for getting clients on and stuff.
Yeah.
Love it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler.
And if you're not using collections, use collection. Don't use real fast.
Yeah, running comps, just do it because it is much better in the Compass system. Okay, one other thing I wanted to show, like when you're talking to a seller and you're, again, trying to explain the 3-phase marketing approach, and maybe you have some collateral with you, but it's just sounding like word salad, you can go to compass-homeowners.com, and it's just a really pretty website that has kind of the 3-phase marketing approach, why it's beneficial, what happens. So again, just a nice way if you're in the conference room downstairs and you want to look very cool, you just pull this up on the big screen and go through it that way. Yes, ma'am.
So I have a question since you're on this particular topic as it relates to the 3-phase marketing with the private exclusive coming soon and then going live.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand where
You heard of it? Have we talked about it?
I understand. I like it. However, I guess my question is for those who are using it. Like I used it for the first time for a listing I have coming up, but I'm wondering, have on there once it's like tons. I guess you can set up collections to flag you for when certain things coming soon. That you're working on some specific buyer, but how do I guess it's a part of the pitch is to your client is, hey, it gives us time to check the price, vet the pricing and get feedback and blah blah blah. But I don't see anyone doing it. So how do we what's the what I'm saying, agents, how are agents actually going in and saying coming soon and we're getting feedback, and how are we encouraging the feedback for the listings that are going into the private systems? Because I've asked several different people and no, I don't get that either. That's something I'm raising for. But that's the whole thing we're pitching to clients. We get back the pricing and we get feedback and we need to change the price, but nobody's doing that. So what's the
Initially, and I may bend Tyler's ear on some of this, I would say the reverse prospecting tool would be good for private exclusive and coming soon, because then you could see who saved it and whose collection it hit, did they save it, did they add a comment? And that could be a way to say, hey, like your client liked my property or saved it or whatever. What's the holdup? Like, is the price? Is it what's kind of the stop?
But even if I want, even before I go live, I want some feedback from my smart colleagues on, hey, that's a good price, blah, 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 blah. That's the part I'm seeing. Because that's what we're pitching to our clients. You know, that's the reason we're doing it exclusive. But I just go in there and I just see them there. A lot of times they're like really, really luxury properties, which are already up in there. So,
But like the last captures,
Yeah.
the feedback section. Something like
So I would say the first thing is if you're not getting showings, that's feedback.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's the first. If you're getting showings, then try to get feedback from them. If you're not getting showings, depending on the time of year, I think that's feedback. Secondly, what I would do if I really wanted pricing feedback, I'd do brochure open and do against the price. That's what I would do. Because then if your client doesn't trust you on the price, then they have 10 other people that gave their opinion on the price. But I think no feedback is feedback.
And I think as we do this more, we'll start seeing more activity in it
Yeah.
because I had mine in private exclusive and coming soon. I didn't get any activity or anything, and we ended up selling for list price on the market. So I think it's just kind of an early adoption until we get kind of everybody doing it and then being able to get that feedback.
Let me take it back to August of last year.
Here's a little baby
When
microphone.
our lawsuit happened and the settlement happened, we have seen, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but your clients are asking a lot more questions about commission, rightfully so. And they're asking, why are you worth what I'm paying you? Why are you worth 3% as my buyer's agent?
Come stand here so they can hear you on
Why are you,
TV.
oh, sorry for those online. Why are you worth 6% if you're listing my house? Well, a lot of agents out there, not Compass agents, because we have all these wonderful tools and resources to show our value. That's just part of this private exclusive, this 3-phase marketing strategy. It's for you to walk into a listing appointment being very confident that you have tools in your tool belt that are showing your value to that seller. To say, hey seller, I'm not just going to put it up on RealTracs day one and put a sign in the yard and hope it sells. We have a full marketing rollout that we're going to do prior to going on the MLS. Because once you go on the MLS, you start losing days on market. You also, everyone can see price drops, buyers can see price drops. It puts your seller at a disadvantage, truly, if you just go straight to RealTracs. So this 3-phase marketing strategy is a way to, one, show your value and why you're worth what you're worth to your sellers, but also get feedback. But again, I'll let Zach know feedback is feedback, right? There are deals that get sold in private exclusive every week.
and I guess that's what I'm speaking to.
Yeah.
I totally get the value of the process.
Sure.
I love the whole process.
Sure.
I guess I'm just wondering, are we using as agents are we using that as a tool
100%.
with each other?
Yeah,
Each other,
there-
as we're,
absolutely.
saying we're using it for
Yeah,
us.
there are deals every week getting sold in private exclusive.
I would
Off
do
market.
a broker open and feed them, and then what I do is if
Feed
a winner, $100, you get closest to the sales price.
It's
And
not
then
just me. I kind of polled a lot of agents and Compass agents included.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, we raised that same. So I was just curious.
Yeah.
That's how-
I think once we get analytics behind it too, that will help because we'll be able to say to our seller, hey, last year we had this many private exclusives, this many sold for, we don't have any of that data quite yet. I think it's just because it's very new, and that will help. Please, yeah. Coming soon in private exclusives, yeah.
Asking colleagues for feedback. We don't have one in the product exclusive to say, no, so look at this, provide some feedback. But that's not true, unless I have a client.
Right.
Interested in that property. So it's not just to put it out there and hope people. They're not gonna get feedback unless they got.
No, I'm sure it's still
So-
tuned into something that's related to the sales market.
That's why I think the reverse prospecting tool would give you at least the people to reach out to. So you could say, you looked at it, what did y'all think? Or you saw
and
it.
there's a lot of confusion too about Compass coming soon versus RealTracs coming soon. They're two different things, and there's different rules. The minute you go on RealTracs, the rules change. If you're a RealTracs coming soon, you cannot show the property. Compass coming soon, you can. Okay. Also, there's a lot of work that Compass does on the back end for SEO, for like putting your listing higher up in Google searches. When you're in Compass Coming Soon. If you go straight to Realtrex Coming Soon, none of that's happening. And that's happening for free. So if you're in private exclusive and then Compass Coming Soon, there's a lot of work that Compass automatically is doing in the background to help your listing get kicked up higher on the Google search list. So that's another
So
selling point.
some, Jim might see Compass Coming Soon, just out there on the World Wide Web.
Yeah,
But they won't see it anywhere.
The www.
Right.
It's not on any of the platforms.
right. So the goal is to get more people to come to compass.com, not Zillow.
Right.
Because Zillow is taking yours and your seller's data and selling it back to us for leads.
Yes.
We want the public to come to compass.com to search for homes, where you get
My
the
listing,
lead,
my lead.
at least, and the point is not to double in deals, right? Robert said it's not to double in deals. It's to give the best information possible to potential buyers out there, because you're the listing agent. If they're calling you, you can give them, you've been in the house, you've seen the house, you know what the story is. You can give them the best information, right? Now, your seller may not want you to facilitate the deal, because we don't allow dual agency. You can't represent the buyer and the seller. So if a buyer calls you, you represent the seller, you either drop to facilitator, right? Or you represent the seller and the buyer's unrepresented, or you refer that buyer to another Compass agent and get a referral fee, and then they're represented, they have information, right? Like that's the goal. That's the idea. But the more people that come to compass.com to search, they're going to see Compass Coming Soon. Now, private exclusive is not public facing, right? Private exclusive is only for those set up on collections. So you have to have a client on a collection so they can see private exclusive. But once you go Compass Coming Soon, it's just on compass.com for anybody to see. But all that SEO stuff is happening automatically too. Make sense? I know there was like agents confused about that. So
We love launching multiple giant initiatives.
yes. Welcome to Compass.
Welcome to this.
Right.
Okay, also wanted to remind you there is a regional site where you can find a plethora of information. You can access it through the Compass platform on regional site. Or you can go to compass-nashville.com. Password is Nashville with a capital N. And it has all kinds of good info on there if you're thinking of questions and you just want to explore. This is what it looks like. It's gorgeous. But without further ado, Marley's going to tell us something fun today.
So I guess kind of piggybacking on what we've just been talking about regarding private exclusives, I'll get this printed out and hung up in like the printer areas. But basically, currently there are, I think the last time I checked, which was yesterday, there's over 300 private exclusives available right now within the Tennessee or Nashville, Davidson County area. I think there's about 315. So just to make it easier for yourself to find those private exclusives, I know Stephanie Clark sends out an email once a week with the private exclusives across all counties, but if you wanted to receive a daily email whenever those private exclusives become available, and they could be a perfect match for your client, if you want to scan this QR code, myself or a member of the agent experience team would be happy to create that private exclusive saved search for you. This way, if you decide to opt in for this service, you'll get daily emails that fit that criteria directly to your inbox. So it will be active and coming soon listings that are private exclusives within Tennessee. So we're happy to do that for you, and this way maybe it doesn't get lost in the sauce with all the 800 other emails that you might get. And then I quickly also wanted to mention that I know we were also just talking about the 3-phase marketing plan. If you have listed a private exclusive, you've already completed the first step. So now you're one step away from unlocking a free $100 Facebook and Instagram ad. So from February 1st to May 31st of this year, every listing that starts as a Compass private exclusive and moves to Compass coming soon will automatically receive this exclusive marketing boost. And so I'm happy to also, if you want to reach out to myself or Agent Experience, we're happy to kind of run down those 3 phases as well if you need any further information. But did want to mention that that's kind of a fun little incentive going on right now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And for all of your many questions you answer for us.
Oh, please keep them coming.
All right, so we're gonna have a couple sticky situations. I'll kick off the first one. I had a client who was in a little bit of a financial pickle, interviewing agents, as they do. And one agent they interviewed told them they thought it was best that they just let the house foreclose. Told them that. I don't know who that agent was. So, as a reminder, don't be giving financial advice to your clients. Especially don't say let it foreclose. Maybe that is the best course of action. It could be. But don't be the one to tell them that. There's plenty of options after the crash. Who remembers short sales? Anybody? That's a solution. They need to check with their mortgage company to see what forbearance options are there, what short sale options are there. If foreclosure is the best case scenario, just again, we're not here to give financial advice. We're here to help you buy and sell houses. Obviously, we crisscross into different areas, but if it's ever like, well, what do you think I should do? I'm upside down or I don't have the money. Your response is to reach out to your mortgage company to see what options they have. So just a little disclaimer. I don't know if it was one of our agents or not. I have no idea. I don't really want to know. But just, again, wanted to say that. So.
Yeah, and remember, we have all of our clients sign a disclaimer which says we're not good at anything. So don't try to be good. Yeah, don't try to be good at financial advice. All right, pools during inspection. So you're representing a buyer, and you go under contract with a house with a pool, and it's obviously, February 4th. It's a little chilly outside. The pool has been shut down for the winter. The buyer says, well, I'm obviously going to get a pool inspection. The seller says, no, you're not. It's closed down. Tough luck. What do you do? Is that legal? And what do you do? And I will not answer if it's legal, but we do have a lawyer in the room that I will point to.
Is it contractual?
Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah, and the section said that everything needs to be turned on.
And so that's exactly what the contract says. The contract says it has to be turned on. So there is no, they can say that, but in theory, they could be in default of the contract because they're not performing. Okay, so let's just say you point out the very obvious language, says the pool has to be turned on and working. Now the inspection's done, and they say, well, we paid to turn it on for you, now you have to pay to turn it off.
No.
Correct. It's the seller's responsibility. It's their house, they own it still, you haven't closed, there's no line item that says that they have to turn it on or turn it off, or the buyer has to pay for any of that stuff. It is the seller's responsibility to check all of those boxes. That's just, and that listing agent, you should be, if you have a pool, that listing agent should be giving the advice of, hey, every utility needs to be on, pool needs to be turned, everything.
Right.
Just prepare yourself. Now, you might get lucky and get a buyer that doesn't want to inspect the pool, but that is also a nightmare.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't want to do that. Yes.
I just had that, so the estate is it's vacant, and the seller had whatever, so everything was turned off, and so they were giving me inspections, and she's like, oh yeah, they just need to turn on the water, and I said, oh, sorry, you have to do all
That's all
those
I do.
things, yeah, so even if during the winter time, if it's vacant, if the seller has to turn all those movies on, and everything back up.
Yeah.
Just friendly remind them that.
If you've
Oh,
been
by the
in
way.
if you've been in the business long enough, you'll either have a final walkthrough where they've turned off the utilities, or a inspection, and it throws everything for a loop.
Or they forgot the gas was off, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, okay, it's a gas furnace.
Yeah, you'll get a call from the inspector being like, I can't turn on the stove. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like great. So keep that in mind. It is in the contract. Did I mess anything up, Lloyd?
No, I think it sounds great.
Perfect. That is. I love when a lawyer says that to me.
Yes.
What if the seller discloses that everything's turned off? The pool's turned off, and they're not going to turn it.
I think my legal advice opinion is that unless it is specifically stated in the purchase and sale agreement and agreed upon by both parties that they won't, then that would be the only, I think it's negotiable in theory, but the standard purchase and sale agreement states it has to be turned on. So unless you are changing and or amending that, then it wouldn't work. I think that's correct.
They drain it whenever they get off. So we have to build a pool to have it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's.
What are there like winter inspections? I haven't sold many houses at the pool. We were talking we need more rich friends.
Yeah, we were like, I was like, I don't think I've had one pool inspection.
Are there winter options for inspections? I would imagine.
Ours is called water.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the difference would be. Expensive.
So I would say if you're on the seller side, if you're working in the best interest of your client, you might want to put that into the contract, whether that's a reimbursement for money for them for having to refill it or a timeline thing. I think that there's a world. Just think about which side of the deal you're on and how.
We just had like a pool guy that services ours to evaluate or just
Like right away.
communicate to ours, hey, it's in good condition. Has close down. And that was.
Yeah.
Well, and I always like when things like that, people, I don't think get home warranties enough. I always don't want to.
I'm dealing with a warranty right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
They didn't get to inspect all the way, or there's a certain get warranty, have that thing covered so that it's something true.
Definitely. Do you have a question?
You start, of course, we want all parties to make their minds so things to work out. But where do you start like getting into reasonably accessible components and inspections? That is in there.
Yeah.
So like things that block like the electrical panel is you like maybe they have a piece of furniture in front of it
You
or
wouldn't call a winterized pool that's covered, drained, like Christopher's pool. If he drained it and covered it, I'm sure he'd be willing to work something out if he was selling his home.
Absolutely not.
all right. You don't want to damage the pool by I guess you would have that conversation initially.
Right. And if you damage the pool, then
It's a whole
then you get the whole.
And you're also talking about pools are like chimneys. Like if there's anything wrong with it, it's $5,000. It feels like. So just know that. I mean, if I was buying a pool, I would want to make sure because what is it like a damaged liner and you got to replace it. It can get really expensive really quickly. So I see kind of all sides of it, but I think just being aware of that and having the conversation on the front end, because just setting those expectations, then everyone's going to be on the same page.
and let the pool company advise them, hey, I would not do this now. It's too cold. Like let them say that. So you're like, I didn't tell you nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, some valuable takeaways today, hopefully.
Compass
Compass one.
You have to do nothing to set it up. That's my favorite part.
We don't have any feedback yet. Pullman, yes. Pullman.
One lease permit.
Yeah, one lease permit. Jump through a few hoops to sell it. Yes, ma'am.
How long does this incubate months
To get the benefit,
Yeah.
free
yeah.
a day.
Yeah.
Like, you can be a private cruise today, comes coming soon a day, and still get the free $100. There's no,
Work with this.
and there's no expiration. Like you can leave it in either one of those for as long as you need to, as long as you're listing the period doesn't expire.
When does the ad start? When you go live or when you go in private or whatever? Like when do they push the Facebook ad?
When you go from private exclusive to
Coming soon. Okay.
Okay.
Because that's public, of course. Yes. Okay.
Virginia.
Virginia.
We have to set up a Facebook account.
No, it automatically happens.
Automatically.
The Facebook ad automatically happens. What?
Okay.
He's back.
I'm back.
It's public. Private exclusive is not. So I guess that's why they wouldn't push it till.
So the ad automatically goes out when it goes from private exclusive to Compass coming soon. The only thing you have to do is you have to have a credit card on file in Compass because you're going to be able to see insights from those. And the only way you can send Facebook ads through Marketing Center is you usually have to pay for those blasts, right? So you have to have a credit card on file. So that's why you have to have one on for this free ad to work. It's just a system limitation. It won't work unless there is a credit card on file. It's not going to charge you. It's just because that's the way the system operates.
In my marketing, in my listing presentation, I do a week and a week, by the way. I think you're sort of asking that. I do Compass exclusives for a week and then coming soon for a
And you
week.
can add. I mean, if
I-
you want to, if
it's
you want
just
it to
a
go,
base-
Money to it.
yeah, you can make it go longer. But you know, I think.
Boost.
Like boost,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can boost it if you'd like, but it's basically $100, which they say is about 2,000 views on average.
That's crazy. It's expensive for 2,000 views.
Just until it gets the
Until you
Just until yeah.
until it gets the amount of views that we pay for, and then it disappears.
So once it comes in there without a credit card on file.
So
If I don't put a credit card on file today, you say it'll just automatically generate?
it should, yeah, it should. Now that's something that Marley could probably help you with. If you go in today and you
email
already have-
Tyler specifically.
Email me. We'll get the answer for you if you need to. But put the credit card in today, and I think if it's in. How long has it been coming soon? Compass coming soon.
I did it on this weekend, it was my birthday, that was Friday.
So it started February 1st. So it had to go in Compass coming soon on or after February 1st to get the free ad.
Go back to exclusive and then a day.
Just go back.
Switch it.
You could go back to private exclusive, but that's when the system triggered starting February 1st for the free ad. But if you had something in private exclusive in January, and then you went, so let's say you have something private exclusive now, before February 1, and then you put it in Compass coming soon today, then it'll still work.
I mean,
It's just when it goes
I'm gonna call
from,
my clients and I'm just gonna do that. I've got one coming soon right now. I'm just gonna click private exclusive, save, coming soon,
24
save,
hours.
done. I think that's gonna be
$100.
fine.
Yeah.
Do you want $100 of free advertising?
Yeah.
Yes. Let me do it.
Or is Boost still in?
Boost. Sorry, I don't want to deliver this information, but Boost eventually is going away, and so this will probably replace it for the short term.
So we will have to pay for our own advertising,
Yeah.
for all listings.
Correct.
Except for unless you go Compass coming soon for this next month.
Yeah.
Well,
through May, actually.
May,
End
there
of
you go.
May.
just through May,
Mm-hmm.
future.
Future.
there's No paid advertising.
No paid advertising.
Just one. That was always a good thing.
I never, to say at least,
Market.
I never. Did y'all get anything from Boost?
I got like one or two
I never
leads per
got-
one or two leads per listing, and it was a lead. Like someone unlocked the photos, and then they certainly didn't respond to any of my emails.
Yeah. There was a lot of that discussion. I think that like it was great, it sounded great, it felt great, but when you looked at the return, there really just wasn't anything
If anything, just
Yeah.
so your seller would see it.
somewhere else. Yeah.
You could
Totally.
tailor it to them.
Now you could just do.
3-phase
I think,
digital.
I think too, like this stuff like Boost, it's really to try to show value to your seller to say like, also on top of this,
Mhm.
it's going to be boosted out. Well, like you're just changing that. You're giving that same information, it's just you're just tweaking it a little bit. So away from Boost, you're talking about Compass private exclusive, Compass coming soon in the same way that they're still getting exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the point. You're trying to show your value to your seller to show why you're worth what you're asking them to pay you. So, what Compass is doing is we're trying to give you as many tools in your tool belt to make you confident when you walk into a listing appointment that you're worth your 6% fee.
Or 8%.
Or 8%.
Yeah, we're
Or
raising
10%.
commissions.
Yeah.
Now we can say that because we're on the same company.
We're on the
we
same
can talk
team,
about
yeah.
that, but like
Totally.
Within Compass, shame on me if I don't. If you have a listing, is there a important thing to see the traffic to the listing?
insights. Yeah.
Insights?
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew there was.
Yeah. So each
That's
listing
amazing.
should have an insights tab that you can go and you can see.
And that's in private exclusive coming soon and when it gets to their.
Correct.
Okay.
Love that.
Love it. Awesome. We're over time, so y'all have a great day. We'll see you next week. Oh, come up here. Well, we'll end it for the people. Come on. Shantae, everybody.
Tay. What, brother? I don't have to do nothing.
Just look at the people online.
No, coming soon. I have 1305 Napa Point East. It is in the Antioch area, but it's really conveniently located to the New Tanger outlet. All the new parks and everything in the Antioch is 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 26-ish, little over 2,600 square feet. Everything is brand new. It's really, really super, super cute. Has a humongous bonus room with the owner was a contractor, so he went in and really did some really cool things to it. The oversized deck is screened in. It's part of it is screened, half of it is open. New LP flooring all throughout the bottom levels, carpets in the bedrooms, but it's freestanding tub, shower, new granite tile in the kitchen, and I'm tithering, but I'm right now at 5'10". I kind of want to be under 500, but
Next to the Tanger.
it's really cute. Bring it. It's incoming soon. Comp is coming soon. Right now.
Have it exclusive, and then. Awesome. Y'all have a good day. Oh, we got another one? I don't have a microphone. Do you want to come up here? So we still got 24 people online hanging out.
Yeah, 24 people. You can
Just
come to
talk
mine.
right there. There you go.
Okay, so it is a little dollhouse in North Nashville. It's 704 square feet. It's 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Hardwood floors, tile in the kitchen, bathroom. It's renovated, and we're going to be about 289. I'm going to try to get it in the Compass coming soon exclusives this week. They really want to go live like this weekend, so we'll kind of put it in a few days and see. So that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, and big corner lot. So it's a cute little dollhouse on a big corner lot. It is 1818 28th Avenue North. So if you're familiar with Ed Temple, where there's Ed Temple Golf Course, and then there's like those townhouses, and there's that little neighborhood across the street from those, it's right in there. So it's like on that main street in that neighborhood.
And reminder, you don't even have you have to have as little information as you want, except for a signed listing here. You don't have to have photos, you don't have to have anything on Compass Private Exclusive or coming soon if you're just trying to get it. $100 and or just submit it. You never know. You never know who hasn't set up on a collection, and they may reach out to you just because they're like, oh, this is the neighborhood and the price I was looking for. So
And you can put a sign.
and you have a sign there.
Yes. We've already got texts from other brokers like, are y'all just not going to do cooperation anymore? I said,
Yeah.
we're 2019, baby. We're not doing this. We on back. We're pre-pandemic, BC.
Yeah, Leonard got some text.
Yeah. Sorry about it. Yeah. See y'all later.
But that's show people that drive.